just been standing on a bank and you're wanting to like make a side hand cast or an overhand cast to a piece of cover, and you can literally see the fish and it's sitting right there, but yet you can't really make a cast to it because like your overhand and it's going to go way over there, or side hand and it's going to go way up underneath something and just get stuck in the trees. There's a solution to that. It's called flipping and pitching. Now, what a lot of people, like saltwater fishing and things like that, are not going to know much about it, but there's basically a 3-step process that's going to make you a better flipper and pitcher the next time you want to go out and you see that fish sitting in the bush over there. Best way I can tell you is you want to make sure you have a long rod. A rod anywhere between 7 foot and 7'5" inches. That's going to allow you to have leverage with the bait, and it's going to allow you to basically make that underhand pitch, and so it hits the target just about every single time. Another thing you'll want is a good heavy line. Now what I'm using today would be a jig imitating a crawfish. You're not going to find crawfish out in the middle of nothing. You know, they're usually going to be in rocks. They're usually going to be somewhere close to cover. So what I'm imitating would be this crawfish, and it's a little heavier of a bait. So a good heavy line is essential too. Anywhere between 15 and 20-pound test line. With that thicker line, it's going to allow you to have the strength to pull the fish out, but also have the durability to where if it gets wrapped up around a bush or around a rock, that's going to allow you to winch that fish out. So good, long, like somewhat, you want a little bit of a tip. You want something that's going to make you get that bait there as quickly as possible. And so what that's going to help with is getting the fish out, so we've gone over that, getting the bait to the spot, and also another thing with getting the fish out would be a high-speed reel. You want something that has a very high gear ratio, which would be like a 5-5, 7-to-1, 8-to-1, something like that. So the ratio of the reel, the higher it is, the better it is to get fish out of cover. That's more line you're taking up with each crank of the reel. So this would be a 7-2-to-1, so I'm taking up 7 inches of line per reel. You can see that? So that's going to allow me to pitch. Say I catch a fish, set the hook with a long rod. It's going to penetrate the mouth of the fish, and that's going to allow me to winch it out. So that's just the equipment alone. The style, loose, like a loose leaf grip. You don't want a real tight grip on the rod, but you want it to be fluid. You want to flip that bait. You want to have the bait in your hand, and you want to flip it like that. But what you want is that bait to have leverage. So if it's next to your hand, you let go of it, and it's going to pitch to the target almost perfect every single time. So the more prepared you are to go out and do it, the easier it's going to make this technique. Pretty fluid. So next time you go out and you're needing a bait to get to a specific target, get you a high-speed reel, a good thick rod, a good thick amount of line, anywhere between 17 and 20-pound line, 15 and 20-pound line, and a good bait that's going to help you winch that fish out of cover.